Karen smiled when she announced the new HOA rule until I asked what time it was filed. The meeting room went silent as she waved fresh papers, bragging they took effect immediately, meaning my garden lights, camera, and blue mailbox were suddenly violations. Neighbors stared at me, waiting for embarrassment. Karen loved public humiliation. She thrived on it. But I just nodded, pulled out my phone, and opened the state HOA statute website. Her smile twitched. If you love powerful stories, you don't want to miss this. But before we continue, tell us where you are watching from. It makes us happy to see how far our stories travel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I calmly asked when the rule was voted on, when homeowners were notified, and why the emergency clause required under state law was missing. Karen laughed loudly, calling me dramatic. So I read the statute out loud. Her lawyer, sitting quietly behind her, slowly stopped typing. That was my favorite moment. The room shifted. Whispers started. One neighbor even pulled out popcorn. Karen's confidence cracked when her lawyer leaned forward and whispered something urgent. She tried to interrupt me, but homeowners were now asking questions she couldn't answer. I finished reading and politely suggested we pause enforcement until proper filing. Sweetly, publicly, legally, she agreed through clenched teeth. I packed my bag, smiling, knowing this was only the beginning, because page 12 of the filing portal still showed draft, and the timestamp was tomorrow's date entirely. By morning, the neighborhood group chat was chaos. Screenshots of the draft filing spread faster than Karen's warning emails. She tried damage control, claiming it was just a clerical delay, but people were already questioning every fine she issued overnight. I stayed quiet. Quiet confidence is louder than arguments. Around noon, Karen knocked on my door with forced politeness and a plate of store-bought cookies that still had the receipts stuck to the bottom. She said she wanted to clear misunderstandings. I smiled, invited her to sit on the porch, and offered tea. She kept talking, digging deeper, insisting rules could be verbally enforced. I nodded slowly, recording everything with the porch camera she tried to ban. Then came the plot twist she never expected. Three neighbors walked up mid-conversation, not angry, not dramatic, just curious. They'd printed the statute too. One even highlighted the section about retroactive enforcement being illegal without a 30-day notice. Karen's smile started shaking. She tried switching tactics, joking about how technicalities don't matter in community spirit. That's when Mr. Alvarez, the quiet retired judge nobody pays attention to, stepped forward and politely corrected her interpretation line by line. The silence that followed felt expensive. Karen left quickly, forgetting her cookies. That evening, an email went out from the HOA. Temporary suspension of new rule enforcement pending review. Sweet, soft, public backtracking. But I knew Karen. She wouldn't stop. And honestly, I was counting on it, because the state filing office had already emailed me back, and they wanted statements from multiple homeowners. The email from the state filing office landed at 7:42 a.m. Subject line, request for clarification on emergency HOA rule filing. I almost laughed into my coffee. Karen had tried to mark the rule as an urgent safety measure. The problem, she listed aesthetic harmony as the emergency. By lunchtime, three more homeowners had emailed statements. Not emotional, not angry, just facts, timestamps, screenshots, the kind of paperwork that quietly ruins power trips. I submitted mine last, organized, labeled, and very polite. Sweet revenge always looks like good documentation. Karen called an emergency HOA meeting that evening. She looked different, less confident, still loud. She tried reframing everything as a miscommunication. Then she said something that sealed it. She blamed the homeowners for not understanding governance. That's when Mrs. Patel raised her hand and sweetly asked why the filing portal showed two different versions of the same rule uploaded from Karen's personal login. Audible gasps. Karen froze. Her lawyer closed his laptop slowly. That sound? Beautiful. Karen tried to adjourn the meeting early, but homeowners started asking about past fines. Old emails resurfaced. Patterns formed. The room shifted from fear to curiosity, then from curiosity to unity. The meeting ended with a vote. Independent audit of HOA filings. Karen walked out first. No speech, no smile. And as I packed my folder, Mr. Alvarez leaned over and whispered, "Paper trails are undefeated. Please like, comment, and subscribe." But the best part? The audit team scheduled their first visit for Karen's birthday week. Audit week arrived quietly. No drama, no announcements, just two calm professionals with folders and polite smiles knocking on Karen's door first. The neighborhood watched from windows like it was a slow motion parade. By day two, Karen stopped coming outside. By day three, the HOA sent an email saying she was temporarily stepping back for personal reasons. Translation: the audit had found things. Lots of things. Misfiled fines, selective enforcement, emergency rules that somehow only targeted people she didn't like. The final neighborhood meeting felt different, lighter, kinder. The audit summary was read out loud. Neutral tone, devastating facts. Several fines were voided. New oversight rules were created. Transparency portals were approved. Homeowners clapped, but not loudly, just respectfully, like justice didn't need noise. Karen didn't attend. Instead, her resignation letter was read. Short, formal, final. A new interim president was voted in, Mrs. Patel. Her first action, extending the rule review period to 60 days and creating a homeowner legal education night. Sweet, smart, unstoppable. The funniest part? My blue mailbox, garden lights, and camera are now listed in the community-approved aesthetic examples document. Framed. Literally. Sometimes revenge isn't loud, sometimes it's policies, signatures, and timestamps. And sometimes the tiniest legal detail becomes the biggest power shift. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you were in that neighborhood, would you have spoken up early or waited like I did? Share this story with your loved ones. Tell us where you're watching from. It makes us happy to see how far our stories go.